Hello, everybody.
Hi, Tiffany.
We never said who was going to introduce the show.
I was just thinking that, but I figured you would make the honors of doing that since you're so amazing.
Sure. Welcome, everybody, to our podcast show, Knowledge to Inspire. I'm Tiffany Patlin, bestselling author of Unlocking Your Ability to Heal.
And I'm Lauren Patterson, author of Freeing Your Heart for Love.
Our sole purpose is to discuss a variety of topics, both popular and taboo. We will be sharing our personal experiences and present experts, inspiring guests, professionals, and upcoming authors, all with the wisdom and knowledge to inspire you. What are we toasting to today, Lauren?
I have a lot to toast to, but what I want to toast to is happiness. Because this morning I did a really good David G meditation, which you know, Tiffany, I love those meditations. And I was feeling kind of down. I know we just talked about it. But I went back to that feeling of love and feeling the happiness. And you know, I love my bird watching. So immediately after the meditation, I went to the window where I could see my birds feeding. And a baby hummingbird came right in front of the window and was flying like this in front of me. And I couldn't get my phone fast enough to record it. Aww. But it was just flying in front of the window like this, like literally this much in front of me. Flew away, came back, and was flying again, almost like it was saying hi to me. It was so, it just made me like tear up. I'm like, oh my God, so precious. I didn't even get it on video. But then I just said, it wasn't meant to be a video moment.
It was just for you.
It was, so when these moments happen for you, Tiffany, you have to share it because it's amazing. And it's just connecting with the universe, right? Like what me and you were doing with our meditations and our manifestations. And I needed that love, and the hummingbird's my love symbol. And it came, it was just, and it was a baby. It was a little baby.
That's so cute. I really wish I could have seen it, but next time, I'm sure it'll be back. Just keep that sugar water out there. That's what you make it.
Interesting enough, it was going to the bird bath, but somehow it flew back to the window and was literally just flying in front of me. I mean, it was literally
you.
It was so close to my eyeballs. If the glass wasn't there, it would literally be right in front of my face. It was just the most amazing, precious moment. I had to call my husband and tell him. I was like, "Oh my God, babe, can't even believe what just happened to me." So that's what I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating happiness, feeling happy when you're feeling sad.
I actually experienced that this past weekend. I don't know. I woke up and I was irritable, and I made the decision to go outside, and we took the whole family to this big, beautiful park. And I'm sure you saw the pictures, the big, beautiful lake view. Oh my goodness. It just lifts my spirits. I don't know. I don't know how it cannot. That's one of my favorite things, is to connect spiritually, is just to be out in nature. So if I had a celebration, I'd say I'm celebrating the fact that I did that, because if I didn't, it would have been a pretty crappy day.
And I loved those pictures. I saw them. I was like, ooh, she went out to the park, and those were such nice
around.
Yeah.
Did some stretching. It was fun, and spending time with the little ones, our undivided attention, not watching a movie because you're not really paying attention to the people next to you. You're paying attention to the movie. So I try to do things that are different. I mean, it's easy for us to just want to plop down and watch TV, right? I just want to veg. Yeah. But then the children, they're still not getting that attention. So that's why we have to try to take the time to interact with them. Otherwise, they'll go crazy. And then afterwards, they were more calm, and they let me and my husband have a moment of time to ourselves, which is really nice.
Yeah, that is nice. And
that's my celebration.
Me and you are starting 5 days of manifestation, right?
Yes. We're going to do that today. When we get off this call, we'll do it. How's that?
Can you just explain that quickly? Because maybe others want to do it with us, right? And I need to know a little bit more, because I was going to go to the YouTube video you sent me, and 5 is my number. So I was like really amazed that you reached out to me. I'm like, oh my God, 5 is my number. Write it down 55 times. So what is it about?
It's really just that simple. You find something that, whatever it is that you want, and it's important to be specific. Some people have said you could start off the sentence by saying, I am very grateful for having, and then a certain amount of money that you want. I'm grateful that I have $2 million in my bank account right now. And you would write that 55 times in 55 days, or 55 times in 5 days. I took it a step further and chose to put on certain frequency music that, was like manifesting and abundance and all this stuff. So I was playing that as I did it. And as I was writing it out, I was just saying it out loud because I'm writing it, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to feel it, all the stuff, check off all the boxes to make that a reality. Somebody else used the word certain because she was talking about certainty. And so when you're certain about something, that word in itself has a higher vibration. So you're putting that out there into the universe. I like the idea of using the word gratitude. So I guess it depends, it's whatever works for you, what feels good to you. But just pick something that you want, as short, simple, and sweet, should be specific, and you just write it out. So like I have a notebook here, and you would just simply write it out. And when I did it, it took me a front and a back page. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and you wrote it 55 times.
Yeah, and then because I opted to do it with my family, my husband and my 14-year-old, who complained as a 14-year-old would, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, but don't you realize if we accomplish this, it benefits everybody, but whatever. So now I'm like, all right, fine, I'm going to do this on my own. So now I'm going to do it with you so we can hold each other accountable.
And I want to add, I tagged you on, I don't know if you saw the tag yet, but I tagged you on Rhonda Byrne, who did the book, The Secret and the Power. And she was talking about happiness and manifestation. So it was just all coming to me today from you, from that live. And, interesting enough, if you go back and watch it, Tiffany, she was talking about, which I didn't know this, when you're trying to manifest something, like manifest it and release it. And once you release it, visualize that you already have it. Mm-hmm. So, because yes. I think sometimes like when I write things down, I think about it every single day. Like things I want to manifest, I want more abundance. I want more money. I want to pay off my bills. But she's saying like manifest it and then release it to the universe and always think that it's already there for you. And yes. She even talked about like surrounding yourself with negative people. She was saying, embrace the negative people, embrace them and just picture yourself not letting it bother you. She said, just like, if you watch The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, do you remember that part at the end where he stood out in the middle of all those people walking around like across the street? And he was just crying. Yeah. And that's what she said. She did that as an example that just picture yourself in this crazy street of all this chaos and you're in the middle of it and you're just perfectly fine. And
when she said that somebody says that they couldn't be fine with somebody else that was next to them. And that's why they said you should, in the marketplace, you should be able to be a complete piece in a marketplace.
Yes. Yeah. So you did watch some of it then, right?
Yeah.
But I was just true. Yeah, it was true. I was just like amazed at what she was saying. So
I think that's probably one of the most important parts is what you said, is to say that you already have it, because if you say, I want, you're telling the universe you don't have it already. So you want to be able to say, I'm so grateful to have, because you're saying that you already have it. Or you say, I'm certain that I'm going to be able to buy my new car with my, I don't know, $2 million. You have to be specific. So you have to take a moment and write it out, so it feels good to you. But yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out because that's extremely important.
So we have an amazing guest today. Her name is Christine Gold, and we'll bring her on and then we'll read a little bit about her bio. Add her here. Hi, Christine.
Hi there. Hello.
Hello. Both of you guys have little titles next to your name. I need to put that on mine next time. So Christine, I just want to read a little bit about your bio so everybody knows a little bit about you before we get into our interview with you. But Christine is a spiritual medium, intuitive, energy coach, old soul healer, and soul purpose mentor. Christine guides empaths to unleash their gifts and magic as light workers that are amassed as depression and anxiety. You will discover that you have always been intuitive, that you have gifts, psychic, medium, empath, healer, and more, corporate burnout, bullied, homeless, hopeless, narcissistic relationships, depressed, anxious, and too attentive to live. Nearly dead to living my soul's purpose as a medium, healer, and chaplain. Focused attention to healing at a 360-degree level related to energy, chakras, aura, trauma, inner child work, astral travel, telepathy, ancestors, past lives, and Christ consciousness. So you are all of the above.
We are all of the above, actually.
Yes, welcome. So we are excited to just hear all your golden, valuable nuggets. And Tiffany will ask the first question.
You heard us, right, talking about the manifestation and all that good stuff. I would actually like to hear from you what your take is on the whole manifestation realm.
Manifestation is an extension of our gratitude. So gratitude is the only attitude. So the more you complain about what you don't have, you're living, I was just talking about this with my son, you're living in victim consciousness.
Yeah.
So
I was.
you're like you said, you're telling the universe that you are not that, but we are all perfect, holy children of God. So act accordingly. That's it. It's pretty, pretty cut and dry. And you mentioned hummingbirds. They're one of my spirit animals. Actually, my mother comes through as a hummingbird. So it's interesting that you brought that up. So I just thought I'd share that with you. It is a sign, an absolute symbol from the universe.
And
that's your message. So.
Yeah, I mean, I literally cried. I was crying when I saw it. I was like, what is going on right now? But I just like took it in. Even seeing your hummingbird, I'm like, oh, my hummingbird.
I just want to point out that I know last time you couldn't come on because of your mom, and I wanted to tell you that I'm sorry about that. My heart goes out to you with that.
No, thank you very much. I mean, she's in everything. I mean, and when we live in a 3D dense world, we get attached to things, including people, including objects, including, dare I say, anything that you want to manifest, because we already are. We already are. And my mother is in everything, just like you're the tree, you're the hummingbird, you're the water, you're the wind. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Christine, how did you come up? I love the name 24K Healing. I think of that Bruno Mars song. When I hear 24K, but how did you come up with that amazing name?
It's just a play on my last name. Gold healing. Gold is the epitome, is, when you look at color therapy and you look at your chakras, and even Edgar Cayce talks about the significance of gold and how it's easy to access. The Japanese work with that in mending items as well. So gold is alchemy. It's, I don't know. It was fun. Really, more than anything. And people think of the highest, when it comes to precious metals, we think of gold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even when I meditate, I think of golden light, like surrounding myself in golden light. So yeah, it is very spiritual, healing, higher consciousness.
So Christine, how did you get started in your line of work? Like, were you always a spiritual medium? Were you always in tune with your gifts? Or did you, work in customer service before or something else? Like, how'd you get started?
Oh, since I was a child, adults would tell me things, but their body language and their words did not match. So I knew there was something there, and I could feel their aura, their stuff coming at me. And unfortunately, it manifested as depression and anxiety, which many of us have. And, you had mentioned PTSD, which, pretty much most of us have that. When we have not addressed a trauma or a wound, it gets triggered and re-triggered. So that's a form of PTSD. Now, I didn't have to go, be in the military or have some traumatic event happen to me, but everything that's happening in the world since 2020 is letting us know, what's going on here. We have one eye, and that's where we utilize it from, not this illusion that we use our eyes, because that illusion needs to be respected, but we know the truth of who we are at a soul level. So unfortunately, I always have been a problem solver, and people would come to me, just walk up to me and tell me their life story, my whole life. And I was in sales for 20 years. So that kind of worked out for my benefit, because I could mirror back who they were, and it worked. I sold a lot, basically. I made good money, but was I happy? Absolutely not. because I was selling something I did not believe in, selling something that didn't mean anything to me. So after going through, depression and counseling and medication and multiple of doctors, my mentor, Carmel Joy Baird, who's an internationally known medium, she posted a video and said, your anxiety and depression are highly linked because you are intuitive and you're not living from your gifts. I was like, oh my God, no one has ever said that to me. I wanted to know more. So access the inner child, be curious, and the possibilities are endless. I mean, I had to get myself out of the way, my ego, all of that, get over myself, and record a 2-minute video why I wanted to work with her. And it was a 6-month, very intense. I did about 100 free readings before I actually charged for what I did because of our programming, our 3D programming, our ego programming, which would say, don't trust your gut. Listen to me. Let's stay comfortable and not grow. Or you're wrong. That's not right. It has to be science-based or critical thinking. I'm hearing that a lot in the field. And I'm sorry, but if it doesn't feel good in the body and in the heart, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Quit dismissing yourself. So I stopped dismissing myself and started living from the soul. The heart chakra is the soul. It integrates the lower 3 chakras, our physical chakra, our ego chakras, if you want to say, and connects to the upper 3. That's Christ consciousness. That's source. You have to believe in something. Mickey Mouse, I don't care. Believe in something. God has no religion. So if you have issues with religion, you need to heal that. There's something that needs to be healed, which I don't blame you. I mean, I grew up with the Bible. I knew people who were, Catholic or Christian or whatever it was. And there was some trauma attached to it, whether it was in this lifetime or in a past life.
Wow. That resonated with me on all levels. That's good stuff. So because you are in tune with people's energy, I always like to ask people this question, who are people like you who have this gift of helping people. How do you protect your energy? Is there a mantra you do or a ritual, or after, do you cleanse yourself from?
Oh yeah. It's
hearing that.
Always be prepared. And that starts with myself. If I'm going to tell people and show them how to meditate and how to open their chakras, close their chakras, do prayers, meditations, whatever it is, and clearings, I need to be doing it myself. Otherwise, you do a disservice. I have people that come to me saying, I have a negative, I have some type of attachment. Somebody is attacking me psychically. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? Well, I did this and I did that. I played with a Ouija board. I hear it all. And it's like, you do you know what you cannot just walk into something blindly. You have to prepare, just like anything, like a chef prepares a great meal. He just doesn't go, oh, well, I'll just, whatever, I'll wing it, or a doctor. Well, I didn't get enough sleep today. I'm gonna do that 12-hour surgery. It doesn't work. It sets you up to, I don't want to say failure, because failure is a good thing. Actually, we need to fail more. It sets you up, to learn. But if you're dismissing yourself and not giving yourself that self-care and self-love before you walk into a situation, like all my readings, I clear myself, I smudge, I do it all, because I have to get myself out of the way, not bringing in my stuff, because it's not about me, it's about them. I'm in service for them.
I love that. I'm glad you asked that, Lauren, because that was actually my question too. Because you mentioned that, and I was like, well, how do you protect yourself? So you said that you prepare for that, but can you elaborate a little bit more? Because this is for when you're going to work with a client. But what about if you go somewhere, like we were talking about earlier, like if you're in a marketplace with a lot of people, do you absorb that from everybody? And if so, do you do the same things as if you were going to work with a client? Like before you go out in public, would you smudge and do all that stuff, or?
No, I would prepare. I say prayers. I access the Father, Mother, and the Holy Spirit. I access my guides, my angels, my loved ones, and my spirit animals to protect me. I just tell my clients, put yourself in a bubble. That's it. But you have to mentally prepare, ground yourself in, go through all of your chakras, ask for protection, not saying these people are, keep me away from these people. Because when you start separating people, you're separate from yourself. You have to be very careful. I mean, people are operating from their fear level, which drives a lot, which has been everything. You know, if you watch mainstream news and you wonder why you're so stressed out and all that, well, hello, turn it off. You know, get off your social media. Like, come on, you got to listen to yourself and go, I can discern things. I can think for myself. I'm a sovereign being, it's about being, prepared. Practice, rinse, repeat. Practice, rinse, repeat. And I do that in my car, especially driving, because people are very focused on what they're doing and not very aware. So I make sure that I have my team with me and we're fully protected wherever we go.
Oh, I love that, Lauren. She has her team with her. Oh, I love that. Like your spiritual team.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I don't know if I have a spirit animal. How do you find that out?
Really, you can go through guided meditations. They're easy to access. You can even just ask before you go to bed in your dreams. I keep a dream journal because many times the dreams are messages for you and maybe messages for other people. You're accessing different dimensions and lifetimes as well through, that's why I mentioned astral travel. I astral travel with quite a few people, including Sylvia Brown, who's a world famous psychic, and Edgar Casey. We have had past lives together. I know this. Anunnaki, which, we're going like way back. We're going back past Egyptian timelines. I know I have that in my chart as well. So it's really just about, me. I've always been drawn. What animal have you always been drawn to? For me, it's been big cats. So that would be the first question, right? Go back to your childhood. What did you absolutely love? Was it horses? Was it elephants? Or maybe it was a magical being like a unicorn, like a winged one, birds. Then you start getting an idea of who your spirit animal is. And when they start ask and say, could this be it? Could you please show me? And it starts showing up. Oh, okay. I'm paying attention. Oh, I'm going to take note of that. And it could be a few because I access dragons as well, dragon energy, highly transformational, highly, it reminds me of a phoenix. It just clears everything off. It's something that you just have to keep practicing. But maybe you go into work with a shaman as well. I mean, the shaman can show you. Really, it's all about being open to the possibilities and just asking and see what shows up.
I'm going to do that. Lauren. I'm going to come and report back.
Everything Christine said, I totally agree with. But the way I found mine was my hummingbird was through reading Rhonda Byrne, The Power. I didn't read it. I actually listened to the audio because I'm not really good at reading. So I listened to the audio in my car on the way to work last year around the March timeframe. And she talks about finding your symbol, the quote, think of the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of love. And the first thing that popped up was the hummingbird for me. And I declared it. I said, the hummingbird is my love symbol. Whenever I want to feel love, I'm going to see the hummingbird. And just like what Christine said, the hummingbird started coming. I mean, the rose that I named, I wrote in my book, had the red neck. She came, I say it's a she, because I think it's a she. Like every day I would open, while I was writing my book, I was going through all those experiences and bringing them up, and I had to write about them, and they were painful. And I didn't know if I was going to get through it, but I would see Rose the hummingbird. And as soon as I was done with the book, she wasn't coming around very much. She comes around every now and then, but there's other hummingbirds that come. And I was like, Oh, I was sad, but I'm like, okay, she sent her friends, you know, but it was like, as soon as I declared it in my head, that's when they started coming. It's like what Christine said, you declare it and they will start showing up. Now I get squirrels. I have a squirrel family. I have crows that show up.
She's Snow White, she said.
I had, and on Easter, I had that hawk that never has showed up in my yard.
Okay, hawk symbolism, yeah.
And it had a bird with white feathers, and the feathers just went everywhere when it took off. And they were white feathers, so pretty, beautiful white feathers. And I was like, what does that mean? And it was just the only time, hasn't come back.
Wow.
And it was on Easter. And I was like, I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, I called my husband. I'm like, what is that? I had to call it. I was so obsessed with it, and it was some type of hawk. I can't remember. But.
Wow. Yeah. No. And I mean, for some reason, I heard crown. You were supposed to do something with those feathers.
And you know what? I picked them up and I threw them away. So I don't know if I was supposed to do that.
It's okay. Yeah.
But they were everywhere, Christine. I mean, they were beautiful feathers. I mean, I've never seen feathers so white and soft, and I can't explain it. It was just a moment I had. I was like,
oh, that's beautiful. Feathers are also symbolism too, from loved ones.
Yes.
And from the angelic realm, working with the winged ones, as they call it.
Yeah, and I share this with Tiffany all the time because I started pulling angel cards. I follow Kyle Gray. I don't know, Christine, if you know.
Yeah, it's Kyle Gray. It's your boy Kyle Gray. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I just started pulling angel cards when I watched one of his lives, and I pull them every day, and the messages are always spot on. It's amazing.
It is. That is a great way to start your journaling or your gratitude journal. I pull a card every day for myself. Today's card was patience. You know, I just ask. I mean, I clear and I ask and I let go, and it always, when you read it, you're like,
yeah. Tiffany pulls cards now too.
Nice. Everyone should pull card. We can all read. We can all access that. Absolutely.
Can you actually? Would you mind? Because every time I talk about this, there's some people that will say that you don't need to pull cards, that they consider it evil, and that you don't need that. You just go straight to the source, and that's God, and that's it. And
oh boy.
I don't really believe that, but I want you to say, I want to hear what you would say to maybe our listeners, anybody else that might be having that mental struggle, because I did for a little bit, because I didn't know what was right.
Well, and that's the problem, right? Wrong, your truth, my truth. Really, it just comes down to God's truth, and that's how you feel. And it's a tool. That's all it is a tool. That's what cards are, pendulums are, crystals are,
Rosary.
whatever you're using. If it makes you feel good, like Yoga with Adrienne says, go for it. That's all I say. And and the people that say they got stuff they need to deal with, and they're placing it upon you. So don't feel the burden. Just say, hey, I'm putting this on the altar and I'm letting this go. Get behind me, and I'm going to access what I already know. But thank you very much for your opinion.
That's actually how I figured that out, because I even mentioned it to Lauren. I mentioned it to my husband. I was like, I started pulling the cards and I stopped, and I was like, well, I don't want to do it if it's evil. How do I know if it's right? And then I was like, and I said exactly what you said. I told him, I said, it feels right to me. It feels good to me. So how can something be wrong? It feels good to me on the inside. So after that, that's when I made my decision. So I'm so happy that you said that, because it's like, I did it. I did the right thing.
You listen to yourself. That's amazing. There's, unfortunately, judgment and wow. Lots of just send people love, forgiveness.
Lauren taught me that.
Nod your head. But you right? Different, right? I get that. I feel you.
Yeah, I always send people who send me negative thoughts and feelings of their own. I just send them love.
Yeah.
I send them love back. I send love ahead. Like today I had to call Quest Diagnostics because they're billing me after I've already changed my ID code, and I was up in arms. I'm like, I've already changed the ID, but I sent love ahead before I called them. called him up. He was really nice. And he said, don't worry about it. We got your new ID. Just throw the bill away. We took care of it. And I was like, thank you. It worked again. I was afraid I was going to get slapped with another, $400 bill,
Yeah. And that's amazing you point that out, because a lot of us are really good at, what's the word? Giving. You received, and then you said, thank you. We seem to have PhDs in giving. How about we receive once in a while? How about we say, hey, let's celebrate. We did something amazing this week, today, whatever it is. Any chance you get, celebrate yourself instead of being like, oh, nah. You sometimes you got to celebrate and just enjoy it. And you have, just bringing that up again is just the universe is like, check, and we're going to send you more.
That's why we start our show.
I write notes of gratitude too, and I keep a little jar on my counter and put notes in there. Thank you, universe. Mostly thank you, universe, angel guides. I practice nature Buddhism. And
I love that. I've got a little, I call it a Reiki box, but it could be a gratitude box as well.
Yeah.
And it's got little notes, and it has money in it. It has crystals. It has whatever makes you feel good box.
That is cute. I love that.
Yeah.
And Tiffany, you were going to start that as well, right? Like a little jar and put little thank you notes in there. And
the New Year's one. Remember we talked about that, but I haven't done it. I forgot. So thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, because Christine, my husband and I, we put notes in there, and at the end of the year, the beginning of every new year, we pull out all the notes and we read it to each other.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love
that.
We started that 3 years ago, and I keep all the notes in little Ziploc bags and store it away. I don't throw them away.
Oh, how cute.
I really am learning hard to live in love and live in a place of gratitude. Like, that's something I'm really, really striving for. Like, I want to live that every day. It's hard.
You and me both.
But
it is hard. And I think some days we need to recognize when we're just having a crap day. And just I'm going to say it, and just pull back and go, you know what? I'm not doing nothing today.
Yeah.
I finally learned that with my monthly cycle. So that week,
okay.
And it took me forever to learn this. So we did a podcast, and I was sharing information because I was like, ladies, I can't be the only one that didn't know this. So if you're doing this, stop. Because I only did it once, and it's amazing. We're supposed to rest and self-care and self-love, and it's like, why are you going to make yourself do something when you feel like crap? Like you said, it's like, that's the moment to take care of you. For whatever reason, you need to be taken care of. And I'm all for that. I'm looking forward to my next week.
Yeah, no, that's really important. We're human beings. We're not doings.
We're not robots.
Us ladies can't just keep, put that cape on and be the people pleaser and the giver and the fixer. That's where you crash and burn and become quite resentful, I guess would be that energy too, and then you might fall into victim consciousness too. So it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. I love that unicorn in the background. So cute.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Another spirit animal.
Another one. Yeah. I follow Braca Goldsmith. She's an amazing astrologer, and every video she comes on, I think she's got like 8 teddy bears now, and they have hats because she's always talking about accessing your inner child. And I do that work as well. We need to have more fun. We need to play. We need to just let go and just be and she kisses, anyways, just watching her, makes you feel good. So, follow and listen to people that make you go, oh my God, I love this. Or, wow, your face just lights up. Like your whole energy changes, your whole tone changes. It's important. We need those things that lift us up because there's so many things in the world that want to drag us down.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. That's why I tell people about it's important what you listen to. It's important what you watch. It's important what you read, what you experience, all the people you surround yourself with. Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
What are you digesting?
Yeah. Garbage in, garbage out. I always hear that in my, you want to put good thoughts in and good thoughts out. That I don't watch the news. I know you talked a little bit about the news. I don't watch the news specifically because I don't want to live out of fear. And I don't want to be sad. Everything is sad. I start crying, from watching people cry on TV because they lost a loved one or there was another shooting. I live in San Jose. They had the VTA shooting. And I took that close to my heart. My ex-husband works for VTA. Could have been him. And so, he's the father to my 2 kids. And I was just like, these people just woke up. They just woke up, going to work. Yeah. They didn't know that was going to be their last day. And it's just heartbreaking. And so I don't watch the news because literally I'm aware. I just don't want to watch it.
You're highly empathic. I mean, there's a reason why there's animals drawn to you, and you drop it. Me too. I can cry at pretty much cry at anything. That's why I don't follow PETA or anything like that anymore, because it is very triggering for me. But, because animals are our purest form of unconditional love. And the news, unfortunately, they have the same story, the same narrative. I think I watched a video where there was 14 different stations and they all said the same thing. I'm like, mind blown. Yeah. Thank you. News is never evolving with spirit. That's how I see it.
Yep. I agree.
And I did have too. Oh, sorry, Tiffany. I'm just one more thing about the animals, because we watched a documentary and I thought I was a crybaby because I cry when they hurt animals. Like there's a documentary called Seaspiracy.
Oh, yes. Really I watched. Ooh, yeah, I hear you. I feel you on that.
I was mad. I fell asleep, but I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. And I'm not eating fish. I was just like, really,
you should see what they do to cows. You should see what they do to chickens. It's horrific.
Yeah. Yes. I can see why people are vegetarian, because I was like, oh my God. And I was telling my husband, I eat chicken. It's like, I don't know. I'm on this other whole spiritual journey with animals right now and nature in general that I just can't.
Nature is nurture. I mean, here in Victoria on Vancouver Island, we're having big protests with the old growth, the ancient forests. They're cutting 800-year-old trees down, 1,000-year-old trees down. Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, that hurts my heart. Trees.
I know. I
have a thing for trees. Oh,
Fairy Creek, look it up. It's been a big struggle for so many years, and it's not an easy one-all solution either. There's a lot of politics in it, unfortunately. So,
wow.
You did say something earlier that I wanted to ask you about. You mentioned how that you were connected to other people in your past life. Would you say that that's the same thing as generational? Like if you know that you had a past life where you experienced something, would you be considering that generational trauma, or would you just say, no, that is just my experience from a past life?
It depends. It depends on how you react to it. If you feel it's a trigger, and then, that's why I really love going through the body, through the chakras with the meditations, or they call it somatic therapy or whatever it is, and just accessing where you're feeling that in the body, then asking for more information before you go to bed. If maybe it'll come through in the meditation or through dreams as well, you can ask for more information. But it's always good to, I would say work on both. I mean, I do this with my clients. You can access the past lives and see if it's that. But a lot of fears are tied to your past life. So I did a webinar on that as well. And also with the trauma, because we are going through all of that intergenerational trauma. It's been happening since 2020. And then past lives, a lot of times we already made a contract, like a soul's contract. Like people are like, why did this happen? It's like, you agreed to this. And that's why you're here. You need to heal this. And if it's been in the family for a very long time, then it stops with you. And I know it's a very lonely and can be heart-wrenching and heavy. But it needs to be done. Otherwise, it's going to continue. So it almost feels, you're like, that's what a light worker is. That's what we're here for. and the past life thing will come through. I don't know if any of you ladies keep a dream journal, but it will come through that way. It will come through like, we're all intuitive. So let's just throw that out there. What do you think you access mostly? Is it clear seeing, clear hearing, clear tasting, clear smelling, clear knowing? So that's what I'm asking. I don't know, like, Tiffany, what you tend to see. Is it something you see? Is it something you feel? Is it something you know?
This was just a general question. It wasn't directed for me, but
Mhm.
with me, I don't really know the answer to that question, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure more out for myself in the spiritual realm, because
Mhm.
I realize I've been on this healing journey of mine for like the past 12 years. And every day I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, I was actually healing then, but it was more, nutritionally and physically. It wasn't mentally or spiritually. And then recently it was not that recently, it was the more of the mental part. And now it's more of the spiritual part. And I'm just delving in, being more open, just being open to learn. Because I believe what you're saying, that we all have talents and gifts and spiritual gifts. We just don't know how to tap into them, because you're not going to hear it on the news saying, hey, if you want to tap into your intuition, do this, because that would help you. That would benefit you. So they're not going to share that. So that's why you don't see it everywhere if anybody's asking. And that's why I like finding people like you, that have all this experience, because you can help other people, even us, you can help other people, realize and learn that we all have this amazing ability. And that's why my book is called Unlocking Your Ability to Heal, because I truly believe we all have this amazing innate power inside of us. We are supernatural human beings. And when you said Anunnaki, I was like, oh my gosh, because I've been watching, my husband and I watch all these documentaries and all this stuff. And so that was really amazing. I don't know if you want to touch on that for anybody that might not know.
Oh my gosh. We would have to go into another show, but
it's so interesting. It's so
it
interesting.
is very interesting. I mean, we talk about, we'll talk about aliens too. I mean, it's all of it. I mean, where did, Jesus come from? I mean, we all have levels of it. And when we talk about dimensions, some people get stuck on, well, I'm in the 5D and I'm on the 12th, and you know what? It's infinite. The levels. And the Anunnaki, they access every single one. They are like the ancients. They are like, dare I say, they're older. They were part of the universal creation, when they say the Big Bang and then the dinosaurs. It was way before that. And I see them on starships. That's how I see them. They have amazing technology. That's why when we say telepathy, we all have access to it. We just choose not to, because we're afraid of what people are thinking. So they access the telepathy and the thought realm. I mean, they can, as I say, shapeshift or metamorphose into anything that they want. They can be a plant, they can be an animal, they can be a person. What I say is our meat suit. I mean, we're just part of it. We're stars. We're just, we're here for a reason. And I always say, and if you're here, like if you have life, you have purpose. Because I get that question all the time too. What's my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you asked the question, so you're starting your journey to find that out. But the Anunnaki, again, that I almost feel like I need to do a webinar on that, because it keeps coming up.
That is amazing.
Atlantis, and same with the Egyptians and Lemurians. I have friends that work with those realms as well. Schumann's resonance, the global temperature, the energy. I do energy reports every month too, so I tap into that.
I would love to be a part of that webinar when you do it, because that is amazing. I'm into all of that stuff, and I don't know anybody else who is aware of any of that. So when you started saying that, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody else knows.
I've never heard of it, so I'm interested to learn. I want to learn as much as I can.
All right. Well, that's something I definitely can plan. I mean, I do full moon and new moon rituals, healings, readings. I do that twice a month. And then I also have my podcast and live show where I bring in people that are doing amazing things too, just like you ladies are. So
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I wanted to go back to, because you asked Tiffany that question. I think you asked me, but I don't know if I can answer it either, but I have been getting a lot of weird dreams. So
okay.
things come to me, and I mentioned this to Tiffany one night. I was in between a dream state and a realization, and my husband, I woke up and I screamed. My kids even came in the room because they said it sounded like I was being murdered. And I screamed so loud, and my husband was here in front of my face on the right side, and he was saying, "It's okay, it's okay." But right next to him on the left was this dark presence, and I was just looking at him. He said he's never seen my eyes so scared, and I was like, because I thought he was going to hurt me, but I knew he wasn't. It was weird because I was in between that dream and real, and I've been having those kind of dreams, like just weird dreams, like scary dreams, where it wakes me up and I'm like, my heart's like pounding. I even almost passed out when I woke up.
Goodness, pretty intense. I would definitely write those down.
Yeah.
And then ask about that person, because of course I heard spirit guides, and we have more than one. We usually have at least 3. And then angels, I mean, those are unlimited, right? I always work with Archangel Michael. I just find, his presence just boom, or Metatron. I mean, it just comes in boom. And because sacred geometry works into this as well. If you're seeing a lot of signs and symbolism, I would pay attention to that, and maybe even, draw it. Like, I'm not the best artist. Like, my son's an amazing artist, but I will at least draw it out. So at least they're like, oh, she's paying attention. So maybe we'll send her some more stuff. I see a lot of skywriting too in the sky. Like, when we look at clouds, that's how it could come through. It might be in a song. Songs are huge for me. Oh my goodness. It's a message. Like, for my clients, I'll be like, this song is playing, and it must be for you. Please look into the lyrics. And then they'll come back later and go, oh my God, that was my mom's favorite song, or my grandma, or whoever it was, right? So they're like, oh, they're here. Yes, they're always here. Always. And they're trying to show you the way. They're trying to guide you and support you on your way. But when you were talking about that dream, I heard witch. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on witches, but we tend to go, oh, they're dark and they're evil, but they're not. They're not unless they actually say they are. Back in the day, like, religion called healers witches. Do you see what's happening? So that is a past life for you.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because I've been getting a lot of those dreams where it scares me, but maybe I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Don't be scared. Just say, I'm a little, like, could you take this fear away from me, and then just help me access more of, this is obviously past life. Could you access more for me? And you can invoke a prayer to ask to be protected and guided, and nothing except the highest good will come through to me. There will be no negativity, no riffraff, no, nothing, unless it's of the golden light that you like to work with, come through. That's it.
Awesome. Wow, this has been great.
Yeah.
So how can people find you?
Oh gosh, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram mainly. I mean, I'm all across all channels at 24K Healing. As well, my website is christine.gold. It's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, and I posted your link for the website in the Facebook group. So
thank you.
I will be following you, looking for those webinars. Feel free to send me an email. I want to be all a part of it.
Yeah,
I'm already a fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The more that we share and collaborate, connect, build community, because we are all students of the universe. So if we come from a place of openness and not attached to this or that, just stay in the middle and while absorbing everything around us, like the good stuff, obviously.
That's awesome.
And if you're in Clubhouse, I don't know if you're in Clubhouse, Christine, but Tiffany and I, we are in there regularly now, and we have a club called Women Share All.
Nice. I am not, because I am an Android user. So
they changed that.
They just did?
Yes.
Okay, then I am. No, I'm getting my phone.
Yeah, you
I'll be
should.
happy to send you an invite.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I love that. Sure.
like you can definitely moderate what you know. I mean, there's so much information in there that people are sharing, and it's so valuable. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
I'm on Telegram, and I swear, I get like over 100 messages, like, because I'm part of so many groups. It's a little much, I have to say.
yeah, you'll start getting notifications, but I just ignore them. You can't turn them off, unfortunately. You can make them
Okay.
less frequent, but
Gotcha.
it just literally flashes on your phone and goes away.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But I'm excited to check it out and check you guys out. So
Awesome. Thank you, Christine. We
thank
appreciate
you.
It was such a joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
it. Bye.
Bye.
So I'm going to get her digits and send her an invite so she can be in the club. That was awesome. I love it.
I know. Oh my gosh. I was feeling we've had mediums on our show before. Remember the last two that have told me things? The lady from, was it Canada? Remember it was the psychic when we asked her what she knows about us too? Remember that one?
Yes. I'm not her name. Yes, I remember that.
And then Julia. Remember Julia? Angelic
I'm not
Julia?
remembering the names.
She looked like an angel. She was one of our in the beginning of our podcast, I believe. Julia Wesley. Do you remember her?
I remember. Yes. I remember her name now.
There was another person that was telling me she felt like I could be a medium. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I was feeling Christine's and how she said I should have done something with those feathers. Now that's going to drive me crazy. I wonder what I should have done. Because I literally, Tiffany, my husband said, go gather the feathers and throw it away because we don't want the kids to pick it up because they were everywhere. The feathers were everywhere in the yard. And I picked them up and I threw them away. But I literally, Tiffany, scooped them up in a bag. I was afraid of them. I don't know why. I think because I just saw the hawk kill it and take off with it. And I was just like, I don't know what that is.
Did you mention that part to her that it killed something? Because that probably would have been important.
I did.
There probably might have been. You did mention that? I didn't.
She said, she mentioned crown chakra. I think she said, I see crown. And
yeah, she said that.
And she said, I see you
should have done something with
the feathers. Yeah. So that's interesting. I need to now.
Very.
Oh, hi, Chandra. I just saw comments right now. So Chandra Wattleworth is on. She said, "And hello, and enjoying this discussion." But that was earlier. Awesome. She's probably not on anymore. But thank you for joining.
Yeah, we need to figure out a way to see their comments live so we can engage with them.
Well, I see her comments. Do you not see it?
No, I don't see anything. I just see me and you.
Oh, that's interesting. Because look, this is her comment. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm. I see it now because you did the little thingy where you presented up top.
I showed her comment. You can show it.
See, because if isn't there a way for her to be for the comments to be up so that we can go and say, oh, so and so has a question for Christine, and then ask for her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see her comments, and I know in the Facebook page because we're both not on Facebook, but I think the people on Facebook can see her comments. I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Oh, this has been great, Tiffany. Do you have anything positive you want to end the show with?
I was going to ask if you had your cards.
I know, and they are.
We should have asked her to do one. Oh, where is she?
I know.
That would have been awesome.
I should. My cards are all the way over there. We'll do it next time. You don't have a quote? You have a quote. You always have good quotes.
Not off the top of my head, but out of everything, I would suggest for people to go to Gaia and to check out information about the Anunnaki if you don't know already. That's what I will say. Because, yeah, have an open mind. Try to understand that we were all brought up to have strong beliefs about things that might not necessarily always be true. I found that out on my own, and I'm finding that that's the kind of the truth for everybody in the world. You know, we're all brought into these beliefs, and they might not resonate with us, and that's why I've been doing a lot of soul searching and just looking at things all around. And I started looking up the Anunnaki and all this other stuff with Atlantis, everything that she was saying, and it was just, I'm connecting these dots on a grander scheme, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's mind-blowing, and it's extremely exciting, and it's just like, wow. It's just wow. That's all I could say.
And Tiffany, one last important thing. Our event.
Yes!
So June 5th, we have an event coming up, our first virtual speaking event with some amazing guests, and we start at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We have a break from 12 to 1, and then we end at 3. So join us for free in our private Facebook group, Knowledge to Inspire.
Invite your friends.
Invite your friends, and we will be there.
Sharing our story.
Yes, and we plan to do this every month, once a month. So stay tuned, and if you're a speaker and you want to come on, you want to get on our speaking list, reach out to us, me or Tiffany. We'd be happy to add you.
And for July, what kind of peeps are we looking for, in case anybody wants to come in?
Oh my gosh, good point. So we are looking for Canva expert, Clubhouse expert, podcast expert, anybody that can share something educational to help the viewers with even a simple thing like how to use Clubhouse. Because I didn't know about the flashing of the mic to clap, like Tiffany, you told me. There is a reason why you say I am complete at the end of your talking, like all that stuff. There's got to be somebody out there that has all the tools. I was actually in a room where somebody knew a lot about Clubhouse, and she was really good. So, yeah. If you are that, reach out to us. Our event will be July 17th. So we are looking for those types of speakers. If you're interested, reach out to us.
Email Lauren at knowledgetoinspire@gmail.com, right?
Yes. Thank you, Tiffany. So that is it. We will see you next week.
Bye.